Why is the Conservative Party so suddenly interested in engaging with and attracting the support of young people? Is it a case of anything Jeremy can do, we can do better?
What I will say is that when anyone votes, particularly if you think about your parents voting, your grandparents voting, when they're voting, are they just voting for their interests? Well, I bet you your parents, when they vote, are actually thinking, what will be good for you? Not just what's good for themselves. What's good for them is what's good for you. So actually, people of all ages think about others of all ages when they vote. I know one of the things that influences me as an MP is what's going to be good for my children when they grow up too, as well as the young people in my constituency.
Yeah, so I work with 18 to 25-year-olds in a university in London, and one of the things that we have noticed in the last few years is just how more engaged young people are with politics. When I first started as a chaplain in Brunel, we had a crisis meeting because our young people were not protesting about anything, and we were very worried about this. But now it's all over the place. People are more engaged than ever. And the other thing I think that's made a massive impact is social media. And we've seen not just in this country, but also in America, how Facebook can be mobilized in engaging people, and how young people in particular can find a voice on social media and Twitter, and also can be encouraged to think certain ways by parties engaging them on social media and Twitter. And so I think that in particular, and the focus of the internet in the future of politics, seems to be particularly pertinent in getting young people involved.
I think if young people want their opinions heard, you need to get involved. And if you vote, you have power. And it sometimes can feel quite limited, but I think that we often don't get great politicians. Partly, it's a kind of vicious circle that we slag them off, and then we don't want to become politicians. And that we should see, I think you should see politics as a really high, not that I'm a politician, but a really high calling. And I think one thing that would help that is it's a virtual thing, is demanding high standards of them, but also thinking that it might be something that you guys would do yourselves.
I think there's an underlying issue with how we govern our country and how we run our country. Politicians will only be in power if they have the votes of the voting public, without which they cannot be in power, which means they cannot carry out an agenda or the things that they want to do to make the country a better, more prosperous and happier place. If the Conservative Party believe that what Jeremy Corbyn and his party, the Labour Party, are doing is a formula for success, and they do the same, I think it's great. There's no shame in looking at what others are doing if they have a successful formula, to adopt it, to adapt it, and to better it. I think a bit of humility will go a long way if the greater good of the nation is at heart. Politicians must, I think, use all means available to them to engage all sectors of our society, but particularly young people.